listeners, I've got a chic trick for you today to help you figure out how to keep your foundation on and then decide which formula of foundation is going to be the right one for you based on what are my hormones doing at this point in my life? What is my skin doing right now? Am I oily? Am I dry? And what's the weather doing? Does it call for me to be sweaty and, basically sweat off my makeup all day? Or is my skin gonna be just so sucked dry from forced air heat that I'm gonna need something more? So that's what we'll talk about today. And in the spirit of choosing a flattering hairstyle, I wore my party hair for you today. I call it party hair because it's just fun. It's not what I normally do. It's much, crazier and easier going than my typical haircut. And so more about that in our Between You and Me segment for today. But we're going to start off by talking about the right kind of foundation. And before we put any foundation on our skin, we've got to talk about prepping the canvas. I always say that if you've got funky skin, it's funky skin either with makeup on it or with no makeup on it. But if your skin looks great, it doesn't matter if you wear makeup or you don't wear makeup. It's great skin, and you can either, put the finishing touches on it or not. Now, have you ever been in your car and you noticed on the inside of your windshield you had, it was kind of hazy? You can see that especially like when the temperatures are really weird, like it's cold outside and warm in your car, or warm in your car and cooler outside. It kind of gets hazy and you put your defroster on, but sometimes it doesn't get rid of all that. Have you ever taken like a fast food napkin that you've got in your car and just gone over the inside of the windshield and looked at that thing? Ugh. Go do that today. Go see what's on the inside of your car windshield. You'll come back with kind of grayish, smoky looking stuff. And it's just the air, and that's what we've been breathing every time we've been in our car, and what's been settling on our face every time we're just in our car. It could be secondhand smoke. It could be, there's even tree pollen. Today is February 1st, and on the news this morning they said tree pollen is out there. Crazy. It's the middle of winter. So as far as prepping your skin, we want to clean it, we want to hydrate it. You never want to just get up in the morning and slap that makeup on and get out the door. Clean it, hydrate it first. Hydrating your skin makes everything that's not perfect about it look better. But if you get up and you just slap makeup on, or worse, you don't put any makeup on and you get out the door, it makes everything that's not perfect, every hair, every brown spot, every line and wrinkle, every pore, every freckle, every blackhead, whitehead, makes them look magnified. So trust me in this, even our oily chic sisters need to have a moisturizer. Okay, so enough of a soapbox on that. The next step would be wearing something that would help your foundation to wear longer, because who wants to go touch up makeup all day long? Help it to go further, because who wants to keep buying that tube over and over and over? And make it look smoother on your skin, because who wants to look overly like I'm caked on with makeup? So that's what the first step we're going to do after we cleanse and hydrate, of course. So we're going to talk about this silicone-based foundation primer. You just use a little bit, like I would say about this much will do your whole face, and it's a silicone-based primer. Even Dr. Oz says you want something silicone-based because the molecules in it are too big to go sink into the pores, and they'll keep everything that you put on top of it on the outer surface of your skin, so your foundation can't get in there and clog you up. Once you put on that foundation primer and you just barely glide it over your face, you're not trying to just rub it in and make it blend in like you would a moisturizer or a serum. You're gliding it on the surface of your skin. Then your canvas is prepped and ready, and you can go on with whatever formula of foundation you like. Now, the formula you're going to choose is going to vary based on what kind of skin you have. Let's say you tend to be oilier or maybe combination, and most people that are combination are going to be a little oilier in the T-zone, so down the center of the face and across the forehead. You know what, guys, a little oil is a good thing. You'll age slower because of the oils, your natural skin's hydration, but whatever, we don't all have that. Then you have some options. One of them could be this dual purpose cream to powder foundation. If you're not crazy oily or pretty dry and you're not really concerned with lines and wrinkles, this could be a good friend. It's dual purpose. It goes on creamy, but it dries to almost a powdery finish. So you can use it two different ways. You can use it as your all over foundation if you're not super oily or too dry, and if you don't have lines and wrinkles, because a product that's heavier like this is going to show lines and wrinkles more. But even for someone like me who does tend to be a little too dry for this and who does have lines and wrinkles she doesn't want to show off, I use it the second way. And that's that I'll go and rub my finger in it. You see, this is my personal one, so it's got a dip in it where I use it. And I tend to have this red spot right there. You see it? I've already covered it once, but sometimes it pops back through and I can just go like that and it's gone. It's like it never was there. And especially this winter, you know, I'm blowing my nose a lot, wiping my nose a lot. I can take a little of this on my finger and put it right around where I typically will rub that foundation off and end up being red or ruddy, and it's gone. It's instantly gone. And it's got a mattifying effect because it's got a little bit of oil absorbers in it. Another super crazy simple foundation option is CC cream. Now, CC cream is a more advanced version of a tinted moisturizer than a BB cream would be. I keep saying maybe they're going to come out with a DD cream, because at first it was BB cream and then that was over, and then now it's CC cream. Maybe there'll be DD or EE cream. I don't know. But it's so simple because it comes with a little bit of SPF. It's SPF 15 and it does 8 skin loving things for you. I can't name all 8, but I know it hydrates. I know it gives you coverage. I know, and it's surprisingly good coverage. Like, I was very skeptical that basically a tinted moisturizer could give me the kind of coverage that I would be happy with, because I always tell people I really look like a man under here. I like a lot of coverage. I don't want you to know what I really look like. So I was surprised to know that I can do this if I'm just going to run into the store or I'm going to this gym, but I'm really looking pasty right now. I'll put a little CC cream on and it's all the coverage I need. If I am not looking for an overly made up look, this is so perfect. And there's only 5 shades, y'all. It goes from very light to very deep. Now, there's probably 2 of them that you're not going to be. You're either not going to be the first 2 light ones, or you're not going to be the last 2 deep ones. It's going to be really easy to choose your shade. Couple of pumps of this, glide it all over your face. You've got the coverage, you've got the moisturizing, it's all, and SPF all built in there. Now, another is this mineral powder foundation. It's a foundation in a powder form. I was also I'm such a disbeliever. Like, I'm skeptical of everything, y'all. That can't work. That can't be right. But it really does work. So, you know, whatever. I got over myself. So it's foundation in a powder form, and it really and truly will give you coverage. So it's got oil absorbers in it. It's meant to be very friendly on the skin. It blurs out imperfections. If you're that gal, and almost every ivory to beige skin toned woman is going to have pink in her skin right here. This will instantly pull the pink out. So if you're that gal that doesn't wear foundation now, I would either say go with CC cream or go with mineral powder. And there's a determination for which one's going to be right for you based on what kind of skin you have. If you tend to be drier, this powder form has too many drying ingredients to be friendly on your skin. It is going to pull out lines and wrinkles. But if you're somebody that's got a little more, that's drier, but you use a liquid foundation, this is your best friend for being your setting powder. So basically, if you're drier, instead of where a typical person would use this alone as her foundation all over her skin, and it would give her all the coverage she needed, if you tend to be drier or you don't want your lines and wrinkles to show as well, wear a liquid foundation and then do this as your powder over to set it. You end up with 2 layers of foundation, basically. You have your liquid one, and then you have this over it as your setting powder. This is a brand new brush. Nobody's ever seen this before. Like, it officially launches on February 15. You may have already, if you've got this, you may have this kind, but see what's similar between them is that they are not very round on the top. One's super flat and one is about the same size but a little bit rounder. The key is a mineral powder foundation does not go on with a big fluffy kabuki brush. You end up flicking it all over, and it's on your shirt and it's on your counter and it's just all over the place. Let me do a little on my face. let's see, I don't know where to do because I've already got makeup, but you see how just adding it to my nose, and I'll go over onto that side and in between here. It just mattified and blurred out everything. That was just the tiniest little bit I put on. Now I feel like I need it over here too. Get all of that just blurred right out. With mineral powder foundation, if you ever get where you're kind of in between seasons, or like I sunless tan a lot, and so sometimes after I do masking and different things, I'll have removed some of the sunless tan from my face, but not necessarily from my neck. So I'll use a little mineral powder foundation, just a little onto the neck to connect the two. It is never cool to wear one shade here that does not match your neck, okay? That's just like the biggest no-no ever in life. This has to match this. And in fact, when you match a foundation, I know what you do because I used to do the same dadgum thing. I would go to Walmart and I would grab all those bottles and I would hold them up to my hand or my wrist or whatever. That is not how you match foundation. Y'all, it's 2018. We can do better than that. I am your professional person who will look at your skin and go, okay, girl, yeah, this is what we need. I can match your skin professionally because I look at your neck first. I look to see, do you have any pink in your neck? Look at my neck. Yeah, I'm a redneck. See all the pink that's in there? If I see pink, then I'm gonna look for something with a pinker skin tone. Not because I want my face to look pink. I'm already gonna look pink. I want to match this to this. If I chose something with a warmer, an olive undertone or a yellow undertone, thinking I'm gonna correct the pinkness in my skin, I'm gonna end up with an odd color on my face, and then my neck will show as my regular pink. If I add yellow to pink, it matches to a pink neck, I'm gonna look really weird. And if you do that, tell them it's Avon, because it would not be something I matched. So there's that. But liquid foundation, there's two kinds. There's a liquid that's called matte wear. It's got about 10 hours worth of oil absorbing properties to it, little microspheres that are going to eat up that oil. And if you use the luminous wear, that's the one I wear. I want a little dewier finish because I tend to be dry. So when we first got these foundations, I put a matte wear on one side and I put the luminous wear on this other side, the same exact color. They match perfectly. In fact, I actually did that today. I've got matte wear on one side and the luminous wear on the other. Same color. The only difference is that the luminous wear looks younger on my skin. And it's because it's got jojoba oil. It's got some other emollients that are not greasy. They cover exactly the same. And both liquid foundations, luminous wear and matte wear, contain anti-aging ingredients, vitamin A, vitamin E, collagen boosters. So you're going to get younger just by having it on your face. And here's a secret. I showed you my hands like this earlier, and this is the hand that had more brown spots than this one. You know why? It's because every morning when I put foundation on, I dab it on the back of my hand here, and then I use whatever tool I'm going to use to put it on my skin. And so just by virtue of putting it on the back of this hand as my palette before adding it to my face, this hand looks younger. Shut up. That's revolutionary if you ask me. Okay, now what about tools to put it on? Now the thing about fingers is we always have them with us, right? So how easy is it to just squeeze your liquid foundation on, do like this, and glide over your face? But the reality is we're not going to ever get a really smooth application that way. And again, we get whatever bacteria is on our fingers onto our skin. And we just did all that work to prep the canvas before we put stuff on it. Depending on the kind of foundation you have, if you're doing the cream to powder kind, you're going to probably want to use a sponge. Dampen it first. If you're going to use a liquid foundation, you have options. The trend, there's a couple of trends. This is a beauty blender. I think ours is $12. I was so against these, y'all. I told you I'm a skeptic. I don't believe anything. Okay, so I'm like, okay, we have it. It's going to be good, or it's not going to come out. But I need to try it for me, because not everything works. There's a me factor for everything. I squirted my foundation on here, and I go to and I hated it. Literally hated it. Well, I didn't know you're supposed to wet the dadgum thing, so I put it under the faucet, squeeze it out, and then put the foundation here, tap this in here, and then you just stipple. Remember in the 90s when we'd hold an applique on like an ivy. We all did ivy, right? Put an ivy stencil on the wall, and then we put that hunter green on it, and we made our ivy all along the top of our kitchen. I know you did, and everybody did it. So that's how you do it on your skin. Oh my gosh, it transformed my world, and I was hooked once I figured out how to do it. This is $12. You'll buy one in your whole lifetime. Well, maybe two, because you'll put one maybe in your travel bag. I have two, one in the sink, in my makeup drawer, and one in the travel bag. If you've used any Mary Kay liquid foundations before, you may have seen this foundation brush. It's synthetic bristles because synthetic doesn't absorb liquid. And so it'll lay it on right. What I love about this is that tapered tip. However, Mary Kay just came out with a brand new liquid brush, Blanout. Liquid foundation brush. Yeah, I'm not even lying. Look at it. I know. It's different and it's bristles, but it truly, I even like it better than the blending sponge. See it? I did my makeup with this today, and look at it. There is no foundation in those bristles. You don't see a drop. This is the exact brush I did. And whatever the magic dust these bristles are made of, they're synthetic, whatever magic dust they're made of, changed my life. I'm just gonna say, it did. So you take your liquid foundation, you put it right here, the little palette, grab with your brush, and then just basically just kind of paint it on. I kind of do it like that, almost like a stipple. If you've got big pores, take a little more foundation and do little circles. It wraps the foundation around in those pores, blurs them out. Shut up. That's it. I got to do another brush drop for that. So you've seen formulas, you've seen tools to put them on. Now, if you're wondering, am I wearing the best shade? Am I wearing the right formula for me? Call me up, text me, shoot me a private message, comment below. Let me know that you want a professional foundation matching. It's what I do for a living. It's how I pay the light bill. You know I'm gonna match you in something that looks good. And I'm gonna make sure that you like it and let you swap it out until we get exactly the right formula for you. Whether it's a liquid, a CC cream, what kind of powder to put on over to keep it looking great all day, whatever it is, I can help you find your perfect favorite match. So blingy blingy, give me a call, give me a text, give me a PM. It's no secret that I have loved doing things with my hair my whole life. My hair's been important to me like forever. In high school, I was named most sophisticated, and it was because I was always doing things with my hair that were, and dressing, you know, professionally. Like I wanted my style to be sophisticated. And so that's how I always have wanted my hair to look. And so check out this picture of me in college. The only time I ever entered a pageant, and I needed textbook money for the next semester in school, so I entered this pageant. And check out the hair. Now, and that picture got me voted most photogenic. Now, I was only a runner-up in the pageant, but I got enough money for school, and I'm telling you, it's because of that rockin' hair right there. Then, you know, things have evolved, and I'm going to show you now a picture of me the day that I signed up to be a Mary Kay consultant. Like, I'm embarrassed that you see that. For the first time in my life, I don't have a job. I am taking a year off of teaching, and I just kind of let myself go. Well, anyway, thank goodness for good haircuts, a little bit of color, and freshening things up, because I think I look better now than I did 15 years ago when that picture was taken. Okay, so anyway, you know what? You know, they used to say 40 is the new 30, and then it went to 50 is the new 30. Well, I can't agree with that more. I think that as we mature and we kind of get to the place in our lives where our children are, you know, they're making their way on out of the house. They're becoming successful, you know, as live human beings, and they don't have to have us right there with them anymore. And, you know, we realize that we've given so much of our lives to our job or our volunteer things, and I don't know, I guess we just sort of start looking at ourselves and thinking, maybe I can do a little something for me. So that's the spirit of this hairstyle video. Now, a few tips. Generally speaking, I've got some rules of thumb for different face shapes and what kind of hair you have, and some flattering things that you might be able to do with it. So just consider these. You know, I'm not making any statements about what your hair looks like. Your hair may look totally great and you get compliments on it all the time. But what I just figured out is that it's time for me to make a little bit of a change. Okay, so I have this iconic hairstyle normally, not right now, but my hairstyle is pretty iconic. Like, people, when they see me, they expect for my hair to look like, you know, the way it normally looks, sleek and behind this ear, and this is very, you know, sleek, and I got my little lady hump back here. Well, yesterday, after I filmed the part on foundations that you just finished watching, we left to go to our favorite little Mexican place. It's just one of those little neighborhood Mexican places. And our waiter that waits on us pretty often says, "Oh, I like this." Okay, I should tell you, he's Mexican and gay. Okay? So that's 2 strikes in his favor. He says, "Oh, it makes you look so young. It's like happy hair. I like this a lot." So when he went on and on and on about my hair, I'm like, well, I guess I got to do party hair more often. So I wore it again today. So that taught me that as frequently as I do get compliments on the other hairstyle, like literally there's probably once a week somebody says, "I love your hair." Sometimes they'll stop me in the grocery store or the mall or whatever and want to take a picture of it for their stylist. So it's not like that hairstyle is dead, but you know, it's time we all think about maybe a little something different, right? So let's start with tips for your face shape. I have a very square face, and so I need it to not be all close around my face. Like, this is not nearly as good as having it a little more off the face, and I really like to have at least one side. I'd love to have both sides. I'm trying to find a good haircut like style I can do where it's all just off my face. But anyway, that's a hairdo for another day. When and the way you can tell your face shape is you go from your hairline up here to the bottom of your chin, and then you look at how wide it is here. So if you look at mine, you can tell it's very square. See? Very angled, very square. If you have a short face like my square one, it's flattering not to have bangs that just come all the way across like this, because then it makes your face even shorter. So for a square face, for a round face, for a heart-shaped face, those are all, you know, kind of shorter kinds of faces. And so it's more flattering for those to have a little bit of height on top and to wear bangs in a different way. So you'd wear them either wispy or not covering the whole forehead, or a great look is to have your part a little bit over to the side so that you have more volume on one side or the other, and then side sweep those bangs. So if you can get them trimmed where they graduate in length, then it kind of creating that diagonal line across the face can really slim the face down. And that's also a good trick if you've got an overweight face. If you're not happy with how fluffy your face has gotten, that's a great way to disguise it. Have more height on top, side sweep, or maybe wear a little bit of a fringe of bangs like this picture. So another tip for choosing a hairstyle is, ideally at our age, we don't necessarily want to have long hair anymore. Long hair can really drag the face down. Here's a couple of great pictures of a gal who went from long hair to shorter hair, and notice how much brighter and fresher her look is. It's like it took weight off of her body and it took years off of her face. So that's why there's that rule of thumb. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule that you always have to stick to. You can have longer hair than your shoulder length, but if you're going to wear it longer, you need to have some fullness, some volume. Now, for fine or thin hair, you can't wear it long. It does nothing for fine, thin, limp hair to have it long, because that weight just weighs it down even further and makes it look even flatter. So we want to be shorter, no longer than about the just dusting the tops of your shoulders, ideally shorter than that. And if you can have some waves in it, some layers in it, some movement like these pictures, you're going to have a lot more fresh look and light look. I want to show you Celine Dion first. Okay, she is doing what you would typically think was a smart thing to do. It's shorter, and we know that she's got it shorter there, but look at the other picture where it's flowing and loose and wavy. And which one does she really look fresher in? Well, it's the longer one, and it's because it's not as severe. It's more flowy. It's more graceful and forgiving. Now check out this picture of Suzanne Summers. In the really short, sleek look, she looks harsher, maybe older, I think, than in the other one where it's kind of messy and it's not so structured. She's got some movement in it. Then I'm throwing this one in for fun. Check that out. Which one's your favorite there? Is it the looser, fresher one, or is it the chopped one? So besides all of that, some other kind of caring for your hair tips. I had to break myself of this habit. It's something that I do all the time. When I get out from washing my hair, I take a towel and I wrap it around my head, and then, you twist it. I twist it right here and then flip it back. And that's just to get some of the extra water out of it so I don't have to blow dry it as long. Well, I started noticing, look right here. Do you see how thin that is? It's like male pattern baldness, but it's on me. Our hair does thin out as we mature, but this is at least 50% because of twisting my hair up in that towel. So it's a bad habit when our hair is wet to brush it too hard or comb through the rat's nests and tangles or wrap it up in a towel because it causes breakage. So instead, if we can just rub it with the towel and then let it air dry or comb it gently and blow dry or whatever else we're going to do. Also, wearing your hair in a ponytail can really cause breakage and damage. And it pulls all of that hair back, so it causes more weakness at the front edge. And that's not going to be a flattering thing when we know our hair is already going to be thinning and getting finer as we mature, to be pulling it back all the time. So if you're doing that because you just want it out of your face, consider just getting a short style that you can push away from your face. It's going to be flattering. It's going to make your face look a little slimmer and make you look younger too. Don't feel like uncomfortable if you're starting to get coloring in your hair that you're not super friendly with. You can keep some of the gray. You can let it all go gray. You can do a gradual color change, but don't feel like you have to color it just because it's going gray. Make it be something that you feel great about. Now, some color ideas: if you've got tan skin, darker skin, you can add maybe cinnamon or some chocolatey brown or caramel colors. That really is going to flatter the skin tone that you have. There's also varying shades of platinum. I would love to go platinum, but true platinum wouldn't be a flattering look for me. What I honestly, between you and me, want to do, I want a faux hawk like this. And on top of that, I want it platinum. So that's just me. One last trick I heard from Oprah in the 90s, 100 years ago. She said she sleeps on a satin pillowcase every night because it lets her hair just slip around on the pillowcase instead of just crunching up under her face. It glides on the pillowcase more. And so she said that it gave her less breakage. So, great idea. Get yourself some pillowcases. Next week, I'm going to show you how to do this dash out the door, super easy, hardly anything on makeup. I've got a brighter lip, but the video is going to be all about how to dash out the door with a face that looks finished but not super made up, and it's going to take you like maybe 5 minutes. And next week, you're going to meet the gal that helps me get rid of all the hair I don't want. So look right now at my chin. You know, you better stick with me after all this, chic sister, because I'm showing you my peach fuzz. Okay, look. And you see, it's like, ooh, right there. I hate it. And when I get cold and I get goosebumps, it sticks out like, I swear, half an inch. So I am on my way to my favorite hair removal person. She takes care of that. She takes care of the back of my neck, my underarms, and some of those other places that we like to have maintained. You get to meet her next time. So That's it for right now, Chic Sisters. See you next time.